it is there, and I feel like it's starting to be visible. Okay, welcome to a new pregnancy update. So where we left off was that I still was waiting for my blood test results to finish out the calculation of my Down syndrome risk profile for this baby. So again, still don't have those blood test results. So once I have those results, I will cut that clip in and we'll talk about any kind of next steps if there needs to be further testing. Based off of my ultrasound results, I don't expect, or I'm not worried, I guess, of there being something funny in my bloods, but you never know, because an ultrasound only is part of the picture. So we'll just have to wait and see. However, I want to talk about symptoms of 13 plus 0 to 13 plus 6, which is today, because a lot of things changed in this past week. And then I want to talk about my initiative coming up for the next month. And maybe you guys would want to join me, because who doesn't like accountability partners, right? So in terms of symptoms, I feel like I have physically experienced the transition from first to second trimester over the past week. I started out the week from like 13 plus 0 to 13 plus 2, feeling first trimester-y again, which was disconcerting because the nausea and stuff kind of left by 10 plus 3, but then it came back at 13 weeks and I'm like, oh my God, is this going to be one of those pregnancies where women said they felt good and then all of a sudden the nausea came back with a vengeance? I haven't experienced that in my previous 2 pregnancies, but you never know. Anyway, so for those first 2 or 3 days, I was experiencing belching again, belching-induced nausea again. I was having food aversions again. Nothing sounded good. I was like very unhappy and just whining all day long. This is basically the first trimester all over. But then on 13 plus 3, that all went away. So I don't know if that was just remnants of the stomach flu we had and I was just like, my body was just trying to get back on track or something. But by 13 plus 3, my energy was back. And when I say my energy was back, my energy feels like it's back, but it's very swingy. So like I have moments like now where my energy is like super through the roof. And then I have moments where it's like, I'm gonna go comatose right now. I could fall asleep on a rock. I could fall asleep anywhere. Anywhere. It could be like World War III outside my window and I would fall asleep. And that's how I still am. I'm having like these swings of energy. But the fatigue has helped me out because at night I'm sleeping so much better. I don't need Unisom. I am having wild dreams again, but at least I go to bed and I don't wake up at like 2 in the morning. Or if I do because I have to pee at all hours of the night, I'm very easily able to fall back asleep. So that's nice. And then one final thing, which I think is a little comical, is that I have developed a wild, like insatiable craving for dill pickles. I have to limit myself to 5 whole pickles a day, only because they give me really bad gas. Pickles are not a food that my belly likes, but also they give me intense heartburn. Those are like the symptoms I have gone through this week, but I feel my life force returning back to me. It could be because my kids are finally back in school. We survived the chicken pox. We survived RS virus. We survived the stomach flu. Like, thank God. And everyone's back at school. So I might just be on a high from that, but I feel really good. I feel like my energetic, motivated self again, where I could like go out and do things and it doesn't feel like such a huge chore. Anyway, so with that said, it was around the 14-week mark in my last pregnancy that I decided to start a 30-day fitness challenge. I gained like 3.5 kilos, in the first trimester with him, which is like twice as much as you should, but I mean, it's not much, but it's still more than you should have. And I know it was because I wasn't moving and I was eating terribly. And it was just that alone was making me feel so unmotivated to get back on track, you know, and be the healthy person that I know I am and get back to my normal lifestyle that I enjoy and love, being active and stuff. So I decided to do a 30-day challenge. I'm gonna have fun with it. It's gonna give me a reason to be accountable on Instagram, and you know, like I'm gonna do this thing. And it was amazing. It was so successful. And it got me right back on track. And it set the stage for me to have a fit, healthy, balanced, happy pregnancy. It was wonderful. So I want to do the same thing now. I want to have like a fun challenge to commit to and just give me something to be excited to muscle my way through now that I'm feeling better and I have the energy. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I just find these kinds of things to be exciting because it gives me a challenge and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna let this defeat me. So my plan is to do sort of a pregnancy version of 75 hard, which don't worry, it's not as intense as that probably sounds. But on the weekdays, Monday through Friday, I plan to lift for an hour in my gym. An hour sounds like a long time, but I have to take a lot of rest between sets because I get very out of breath these days. So, and that includes warm up and cool down also. So lift for an hour in the mornings. And then on my lunch break, walk the dogs for a 5K. It's just our normal walk. It takes me about an hour, it's just a walk. If the weather is really bad or if there's ice or whatever outside, then I'm gonna do 30 to 45 minutes on our elliptical in the gym. The elliptical is broken, so it's mostly like body weight plus basic machine resistance, but it's enough to get moving and get your heart rate up. It's just like walking. So that in the middle of the day, and then in the evenings, I plan on doing 30 to 45 minutes of prenatal yoga, just a flow, nothing like power yoga-y. It's more just stretching and meditation and mindfulness. So I weighed in this morning. I weighed in at 66.55 kilo. I started this pregnancy at 64 kilo. So I'm about 2.5 kilo up as of today. But again, it varies wildly. I have not been weighing myself consistently over the past several weeks because we had the stomach flu and this and that. I still think I'm regaining the weight I lost when we had the stomach flu, because at one point I weighed in at 67.9. My weight is all over the place. So I really don't know how much I gained, but looking at my body, looking in the mirror, I've lost some definition. I feel fluffier than usual, which is to be expected, okay? I'm totally fine with it. I don't care. But this is my starting point, and I'm going to do this fitness thing for the next 60 days with the goal of trying to get my strength and energy and vitality back. And then in terms of cardio, I want to start building up my endurance, because especially with how breathless I've been, I mean, it really just, I mean, I'm only 14, I don't even have a belly yet. So I want to get myself, my cardiovascular system very strong and healthy so that I can, you know, continue through this pregnancy as comfortably as possible and to have the energy and endurance to get through labor and delivery. So those are the goals. And then in terms of diet, I have written out a meal plan for myself. I haven't tracked the macros or the calories, just spacing out my protein, making sure I'm getting protein with every meal, making sure I'm getting a fresh piece of produce or like a cooked veggie with every meal, a carb, healthy carb with every meal. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So that is my goal for the next 30 days. So that's my like 14-week update. Now we will cut to whenever the heck it is that the hospital calls me with my blood test results, and hopefully we can feel confident and comfortable with the results that I don't need to worry about any more tests, but we will just have to wait and see. And real quick, because I realize I keep forgetting to do this in my update videos and I haven't done it in a while, but maybe we could do a bump shot. I don't have a bump really yet to talk about, but like I'm starting to get a little bit of something. I don't know if you guys can see, but this lump, this little bump here, I cannot suck in. Like it is there, and I feel like it's starting to be visible, especially when I'm wearing a shirt. Like you can kind of start to see the definition of a little belly. Anyway, that's what I have going on in terms of the bump department. So this is not the video clip I had anticipated inserting here in this vlog, but it is what it is. So I am just leaving my hospital in Burgos after doing the NIPT blood test. When I was on a walk on my lunch break, I did end up getting called by the hospital. They said they got my blood test results back from that Down syndrome trisomy screening thing, and she said that for Edwards and Patel syndrome, she said my risk came back as being 1 in 20,000. So fairly low risk, okay? This is good numbers. However, I was flagged as being high risk for Down syndrome. And so she asked if I could come in today, like ASAP, to do this blood test, which was a little disconcerting to me in the moment, but then I later learned it's only because they ship these blood tests out to a bigger lab in a bigger city, and that city only processes blood results or blood tests for this on like Tuesdays and Thursdays. And to complicate matters even more, they will only process them once they have gotten enough of these tests to like warrant people going in and running the tests. So basically she told me it really just depends on how many other blood tests they have already waiting in the queue as to when they will actually do the analysis. And then when they do the analysis, it will only be on a Tuesday or Wednesday. So she told me that on average the results should come back in 18 days, but she said it would probably be a conservative approach to just hope that the results will come back by the end of the month, which sucks. Like, can you imagine, like, spaz of the century, me having to wait an indefinite period of time to know what the actual feedback is for this blood test? It sucks. Anyway, but these are my like initial thoughts on this. So of course you never want to hear that you've been flagged as being high risk for anything, that something could go wrong, that something could be wrong with your baby in particular. You don't want to hear those things. It sucks. And honestly, like after seeing my nuchal translucency scan results, like seeing that ultrasound and hearing the tech say that based on the scan to just trust that the baby is healthy, she did not see anything abnormal, nothing to indicate any kind of like those soft markers that something could be wrong, I really just thought I was going to come back with a normal risk profile. So this was unexpected, but at the same time I'm not panicking about it, because 1 in 122 is still not like terrible odds. It's, you know, less than 1%. So, you know, I am relying on having seen my
ultrasound, I saw what appeared to be a healthy baby, like an anatomically correct baby. That's very good. And like knowing that of 122 women in my situation with approximately my values, blood values and such, 121 of them go home with genetically normal baby. I feel like those are good odds. Like, I almost am of the mind that had she even called and said that my odds were 1 in 50, 1 in 30, even then I'm kind of like, all right, well, if I were to have played the lottery with the odds of 1 in 50 or 1 in 30, would I really win? You know, like, those are still not super high odds. So 1 in 122, like, something would really, like, it would just have to be an extremely short end of the stick, I feel like, for my NIPT results to come back as verifying that there is a very high chance that something is genetically wrong with this baby. But then at the same time, when I think about it, like, I saw my ultrasound. My ultrasound looked normal. How bad were my blood values to still drag me down away from the threshold of normal? That's the only thing that gets me when I really think about it. Like, what weight is assigned to each of the parameters? How important are each of these soft markers and blood values to really determining how bad your risk is? Because my ultrasound was normal. So those blood values must have really sucked to drag me into the realm of abnormal. So that's what concerns me, because I know people, they go to all their ultrasounds, everything is normal. I just heard a birth story on the Moony Birth Stories. I don't know. I just heard a birth story of a woman who gave birth to a child who was Down syndrome, and it didn't flag anything. Nothing on any of the ultrasounds or anything indicated that something was wrong. So stranger things have happened. And of course, my over-analytical brain is not going to stop thinking about this until I have my test results in front of me. But that's where we are now. So now it's a whole nother waiting game. But I'm rolling with it. I am rolling with the fact that the odds are not horrible. Less than 1% chance. So I'm holding on to hope. If you have gotten a situation like this, I would love to hear what your outcome was, just to throw it in my bag of things to obsess over. Hopefully it comforts me, and if not, it'll just, you know, yeah, you know, I have to consider all outcomes because it is what it is. Anyway, I will now just wait to find out the results. Oh, but I asked Lena if I was going to be able to find out the gender based off of these results. She's not sure. She doesn't know if they will write it in my file, but she said she will make a note that I would like to know if that's something they can run. So thank you, Lena. But stay tuned, and we'll just see what happens. So it's only November 4th, but I realize that it's going to be so long until I get my results of this blood test that I'm just going to end this video now. And as much as I desperately want to upload it now to ask the YouTube community for their input on all of this and like anyone else's experiences, I can't, because I have a couple family members who know about this channel and occasionally watch my videos, and I don't want anyone to know anything until we know more information and like we are prepared to do whatever we need to do next or whatever. So I'm just gonna end this video now and sit on it in the archives until I can publish it. So fortunately, if you're seeing this video, it means we've probably gotten our results. and I will be sharing them shortly, but I'm still very curious to know anyone's thoughts and experiences with all of this, because like it's only been 2 days since I did that blood test, and I've already obsessively begun to research all of these things, and I am so confused by how you're supposed to read the results of this combined test. Like, are my odds 1 in 122 that my baby could be affected? Or the fact that I am below the cutoff, which means I have screened positive for Downs or high risk, a screen positive. Does that then mean I've read that if you screen positive, that means that you have a 1 in 9 chance of actually having a Down syndrome baby? Like if you screened positive? And then I've read that this test has a false positive rate of 2.2%. So does that mean if you screen positive, now all of a sudden I only have a 2.2% chance that my baby is healthy? What's the point of being told that the odds are 1 in 122 then? I don't now actually even know what my risk is. And then I've read other things about how some women have said that they have always screened as high risk because they have thyroid disease and they take medication, and somehow that might affect the results. I mean, I take thyroid medication, but my thyroid is under control. So I don't, and like, if thyroid medication affected these results, like so many women are on thyroid medication, so they would have probably found a way to factor that into the formula already. I don't know. Clearly, I have been completely overthinking this as usual. I'm so thankful I have this fitness challenge I'm doing to like pour myself into, because that's where my mind and my energy and my focus is just on my physical and mental health, and not counting the hours away, because you guys, it is only November 4th and those results might not be back until November 30th. God. I might get my anatomy scan before I get these results back. Anyway, I'm going to just like close out this video now, put it up on YouTube as private, and then I will publish it, or I will make it public once we know a little bit more and I have a chance to like film the next video. So stay tuned for that. Okay. All right, guys. Bye.